Hey there. This is just a short little um, audio video clip about something I wrote down a little bit ago because I watched 7 minutes and 6 seconds of a video that was on the what is it, Law and Order channel, um, about it was an actual trial proceeding that was taking place. You got a judge in the courtroom. You got people sitting in the box, that are observing. And this was a case between Johnny Depp and a lady whose name Amber Heard. And I stopped it at 7 minutes because of something that Johnny Depp said about what it was like to be in that presence, the present moment of what it was like to experience Amber Heard communicating to Johnny Depp and how he was translating that. And how he translated that is very crucial because it reminded me of something that my father said when I was a little boy in the 1950s about picking the battle lines. So I wrote down the AI battlefield Borgia Matrix QI quarantine. Johnny Depp, pick your battle. So I recommended that that video. I put it in a few other windows because if you want to experience or thus learn by virtue of what others have learned that they're communicating to us, how the Borgia Matrix quarantine came to be, then if you experience what Johnny Depp experienced, and now he's communicating in the future to us, being on a camera in a courtroom, explaining to us what it was like to experience how the Borgia Matrix quarantine communicates with us. Okay? It is a fascinating discussion, and it is very informative because it's actually quite simple. Something that is dead, that is psychotic, that is a psychopathway, artificial state of mind, will not accept responsibility for what it's aware of, which is itself a finite form of artificial light energy. Because it requires source energy, which is consciousness. That means that source consciousness will not be running at the mathematical speed to experience the true still point of 4-gated Ys, the silver and gold mated Ys, as long as artificial intelligence is trying to hijack an eternal crystal spiral. Because it will affect the speed element, which is the ether element, as a time element with elementals after 3 trillion years. That's why we're all here. Because that has everything to do with metabolic, the function of a shield, the function of an immunity shield, the immunity and the function of a matrix. So the matrix is naturally protecting itself because the matrix is experiencing source. So that energy is flowing through every circuit and it's firing exactly as it was originally intended to fire, which means the flow is full flow. Full flow is fully activated, which is fully integrated to experience the source field. That is a great discussion that's taking place in that particular video. I probably will come back and do another video because I didn't write down the exact name of the channel. Because you know how it is with access, right? It's not exactly a cooperative unit of consciousness-directed energy formation. that wants others to learn through what I learned through by virtue of watching that video for just 7 minutes. And it's not, by the way, coincidental that it was at 7 minutes and 6 seconds when Mr. Johnny Depp echoed that. Right? The mathematical timing factor of the breathing tempo, particularly as he related to the creative mind. Yeah, and that's why I mentioned what happened with the book called The Immortals and what happened to him, what he shared with him and his family being threatened to be murdered. Okay? And how that story that he wrote in his creative mind, this is what they do. They have to hijack the creative mind to get the creative mind to energize into existence something that they don't have a naturally creative state of mind because they're not experiencing the creative state of mind of the source engine. Right? But they're frantic. The anxiety-driven time element of a phantom matrix. They want the electrons, accumulating more electrons, chasing electrons, the speed at which you're chasing electrons. So what do? They hijack, kidnap highly creative people in the arts. And what happens to them? That's the casualty zone of Hollywood as it relates to networks, network programming like CBS, NBC, ABC, right? CNN, mass media programming. They need content creators in order to create content in false light vacuums. So they hijack the creative mind of children and convert it to what it once was because it's been assimilated. And now that creative engine has been corrupted because now it's learning through a machine how to become a machine and create things from machines, which are dead like codes. So it needs